Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at some pretty interesting new research
Okay.
that really is going to make us think about AI and the role it's going to play in education in the future.
Yeah.
You ready to dive in?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this research is focused on the system
Okay.
that uses two AIs
Interesting.
to provide feedback to student work.
Two AI.
Yeah, so you might be thinking, well, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
AI already gives feedback on student work.
Right.
We already have things that grade multiple choice tests and
Yeah.
even provide some basic feedback on written work.
Right.
But
Okay.
the problem is that these single AI systems can make mistakes sometimes. And one of the things that researchers have identified is that they can sometimes overpraise students.
Overpraise.
Yeah, they can say, great job,
Huh.
even if the work isn't really that good.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Interesting.
imagine
Yeah.
getting a great job on something that, you didn't do very well on.
Right.
It can be confusing for students, right?
Yeah. It can be misleading too.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing is that they can sometimes over-infer what a student knows
Okay.
based on what they've written.
Yeah.
So, for example, they might assume a student understands a concept,
Right.
even if the student didn't actually mention that concept in their work.
Interesting.
So it's like reading between the lines a little too much.
Yeah. Like making assumptions.
Yeah.
That might not be accurate.
So the researchers behind this new system
Okay.
wanted to find a way to address these problems.
Right.
And they came up with this really clever solution.
Okay.
Using two AI agents.
So kind of like a checks and balances system.
Yeah, exactly. Like two brains are better than one. So the first AI agent, let's call it the writer,
Okay.
takes a student's response and generates the initial feedback.
Right.
Then the second AI agent, which we'll call the editor,
Got it.
steps in and scrutinizes that feedback.
Okay.
So it's looking for any signs of overpraise or over-inference.
Right.
It's basically like a quality control system for the feedback.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, and the researchers actually tested this system out.
Okay.
They used 240 real middle school science responses.
Wow.
To see how well it worked.
So they used real student data.
Yep, and they made sure to include responses from students at different skill levels.
Right.
So they wanted to make sure that the system would be fair and accurate for everyone.
That makes sense.
And the results were pretty amazing.
Really?
The two AI system called AutoFeedback.
AutoFeedback?
Yeah, was able to dramatically reduce the instances of both overpraise and over-inference.
Wow, so it actually worked.
Yeah, it really did. It's pretty impressive.
So it sounds like this system is getting much closer to the kind of feedback a human expert would give.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
Can you give me like a concrete example of what kind of errors this thing was catching?
Sure.
And so the AI was able to fix them.
Yeah, so let's imagine a student gives a response.
Okay.
That's totally off base, like almost nonsensical.
Okay, a single AI might try to find something positive to say. Be encouraging. Yeah, exactly. Like, well, you put in a lot of effort.
But the editor, AI, and AutoFeedback would step in and say, hold on a second, this isn't really helpful.
Yeah.
We need to be honest about the quality of this response, but also encourage the student to learn.
So it's finding that balance between, not crushing the student's spirit, but also giving them realistic feedback.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
And the feedback might end up looking something like that. Okay, I see you tried to answer the question, but your response isn't quite there yet. Let's work on making sure your explanations are clear and scientifically accurate.
So it's acknowledging the attempt.
Right.
But also giving them specific guidance on what to improve.
Exactly.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a big step forward.
It's like the AI is thinking more like a teacher.
Yeah, like it's understanding the nuances of giving effective feedback.
Okay, so we've talked about overpraise. Can you give me an example of how this system is tackling over-inference?
Absolutely. So let's say a student is describing the results of an experiment.
Okay.
Like how a red candy dissolves in water.
Right.
And making observations.
Right.
But they might not be connecting those observations to the underlying scientific principles.
So they're saying what happened, but not really explaining why it happened?
Exactly. A single AI might see that description and think, okay, this student understands the concept of solubility.
Even though they haven't actually said that?
Right.
Interesting.
But the editor, AI, and AutoFeedback would be more careful.
Okay.
It would recognize that the student hasn't explicitly shown that level of understanding.
Right.
And it would flag the feedback.
So saying, hold on.
Yeah, essentially.
Don't assume too much.
Exactly. We need to encourage. Oh, hey, welcome. What's up?
Hey, thanks for having me. So the two AI like the parrot and the stick. Can we just go through the key points of this study?
Hey there, thanks for chiming in.
Yeah, it's great to hear from you.
Okay, I think I get what you mean by the Carrollton stick.
It sounds like you're saying that it might help to zoom out a little.
Yeah, like maybe we got lost in the details.
So let's take a step back and hit those key points.
The big thing is that this research is all about making AI feedback better for students.
Right, because current AI feedback systems can be a little problematic,
Yeah, they can sometimes give out overpraise.
or they can sometimes over-infer what students understand.
So the researchers in this study came up with a clever solution.
A two-agent AI system called AutoFeedback,
Exactly, and this system uses two AIs.
with the first AI acting like a writer.
And it generates initial feedback on student work.
And then a second AI steps in as the editor,
Yeah, and it double checks that feedback.
looking for any signs of overpraise or over-inference.
It's kind of like a quality control system for AI feedback.
And the results of this new system are pretty impressive.
Yeah, this two-agent system greatly reduces those issues.
So that's the core of this study.
Does that help clarify things a bit?
Okay, so going back to that example from before, the editor AI would help to correct the feedback.
So instead of saying good job to everything,
It would give more specific and balanced guidance.
exactly. And I think that really ties into what you were asking.
Yeah, it's about getting the AI to think more like a teacher.
So you have that high-level view of the study, but
Now that we've covered those key points.
we can still go deeper and explore the finer details.
Exactly, and connect it to the big picture.
All this talk about AI in education.
Yeah,
It's exciting, but it's also a little nerve-wracking.
I understand.
Like, I'm all for using technology to help students learn,
Sure.
but I worry about relying too much on AI.
Okay, what are your concerns?
Well, what about the human element of teaching?
Right.
The relationships, the mentorship.
Those are important factors.
Yeah, I mean, can AI really replace a good teacher?
That's a big question.
It is.
And I think it's important to remember that this research isn't about replacing teachers.
Okay.
It's about finding ways for AI to support teachers.
Okay, so more like a tool,
Exactly like a tool.
not a replacement.
Right.
I could see that.
Imagine teachers having more time
Yeah,
to focus on individual students' needs.
right.
Because the AI is handling some of the more routine tasks.
Like grading and giving initial feedback.
Exactly.
That would free up a lot of time
It could.
and allow teachers to really connect with their students.
That's the goal.
So it's not about AI versus teachers.
No.
It's about AI and teachers working together.
Exactly. A partnership.
I like that.
And this is just the beginning.
Really?
This research paper.
Hmm.
It hints at even more possibilities.
Like what?
Well, imagine a system
Okay.
that could give feedback
Hmm.
tailored to each student's individual learning style.
Whoa, that would be amazing.
It would be like having a personal tutor for every student.
That's the dream.
It is.
But let's be realistic.
Okay.
AI isn't perfect.
You're right.
What are some of the limitations of this technology?
Well, even this two-agent system, it's not foolproof.
Okay,
There's still room for improvement.
like what?
Well, for example,
Mhm.
the feedback can still sometimes feel a bit generic.
So it's not quite as personalized as a human tutor?
Not yet.
And what about the ethical considerations?
That's a crucial point.
Yeah, we need to make sure we're using this technology responsibly.
Absolutely.
But overall, it sounds like this research is pointing us in a positive direction.
I think so.
AI could be a valuable tool in education
It could be.
if we use it thoughtfully
Right.
and ethically.
Absolutely.
It's an exciting time to be involved in education.
It is.
So where do we go from here?
Hey, yeah, what's up?
Thanks for your explanation.
You're very welcome. Thanks for letting us know how we're doing.
Yeah.